Nicki Minaj Secrets. Welcome to another episode of Celebrity Exclusive. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. Minaj is open and honest in her lyrics, but there is some stuff that she would rather forget. Nicki Minaj is one of the few artists that can claim to be the greatest rapper of all time. Some fans say Tupac, Biggie, or Eminem, while others argue Rakim, Jay-Z, or Nas. Indeed, there's a long list of talented artists that make that claim. However, Minaj is one of a handful of female artists considered the greatest. She had a significant breakthrough in 2010 with the Pinkprint and went on to release several classic albums. Minaj parlayed that fame into a movie career and more. She's known for her unique fashion sense and is one of the most influential celebs. Minaj is on top of the world now, but it was a struggle getting up there. She had a rough childhood that continues to impact her life. Minaj is open and honest with her lyrics, but there is some stuff that Nicki would rather forget. It's time for a closer look at Nicki Minaj and her darkest secrets. Nicki Minaj isn't her real name. There isn't a person in the world that doesn't know the name Nicki Minaj. Well, turns out that Nicki Minaj isn't her name. She was actually born Onika Tanya Maraj, but a producer forced her to have a stage name. She even admits to hating her name and fought the producer. She doesn't like the stage name and just wanted to go by her real name. In the end, she agreed to the name, but her family and close friends call her by her real name. Father's problems. Nicki Minaj's father, Robert Maraj, struggled with substance abuse for most of his life. Minaj recalls growing up in an intense environment, surrounded by the problems between her parents. Indeed, she saw an ugly and dark side of her father. He often took out his anger on his wife in front of the kids. The traumatic feelings never left Minaj. She was timid and shy. Nicki Minaj has a fashion sense and personality all her own. She can be blunt and offensive at times. However, there was a time in her life when Minaj wasn't like that at all. Indeed, there was a time when she was timid and shy. Her former manager recalls Minaj crying and feeling insecure. She's now one of the most famous stars in the world. Not a strict household. Nicki Minaj was born in Trinidad and Tobago, but came to the Bronx as a child. Minaj admits that her mother wasn't tough and she didn't grow up in a strict household. There's even a part of her that wishes her mother was strict. Minaj feels she would have benefited from the structure. Fear of heights. It's safe to say that Nicki Minaj isn't scared of a thing. Indeed, she takes up her enemies and never backs down. Nicki's determined to be the best and never gives up. She truly is fearless. Well, unless it involved heights. Yes, the fearless Minaj isn't afraid to get into a brawl, but is terrified of heights. Lived with her grandmother in St. James. Nicki's parents couldn't make the relationship work, and her mother moved to the US. At first, Minaj stayed behind with her grandmother. Indeed, Minaj continued to live in St. James for a lot longer before her mother reached out. She finally came to the US, and her life was never the same. Bookworm. Nicki Minaj has a particular image she needs to uphold. She gives off the impression she came from the streets, but that's not the case. Minaj had a tough childhood that molded her into who Nicki is now. However, she did have time to enjoy the simpler things in life. For instance, she's quite the bookworm and has enjoyed reading since a very young age. 15 different alter egos to deal with life. Nicki Minaj is just one of many characters she created. Indeed, she's been creating alter egos her entire life. As a child, she created various egos to deal with her traumatic home life. The problems between her parents made her fantasy a reality. She created many characters, including Rosa, Nicole, and Cookie. Discovered Meryl Streep in art school. As noted, Nicki Minaj needs her image to be a certain way. She needs people to believe she came from the mean streets. Of course, Nicki found time to attend Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts. She always knew she wanted to act or rap. While in art school, she discovered Meryl Streep and became obsessed. It's easy to see Streep's influence. Her controversial siblings. Nicki Minaj grew up with several brothers and sisters. She comes from a large family, which isn't always a good thing. Her parents had severe problems that ended with her father going to rehab several times. However, her siblings are not without their issues. For instance, her brother went on trial for unspeakable crimes. Failed acting career. Before Nicki Minaj became a rap icon, she tried to make it as an actress. Indeed, she initially attempted to be an actress. She started from a young age and made acting her focus in high school. Of course, it didn't work out that way for her. She failed as an actor at that point, but would return to the art form later in her career. Wrote her first rap at 12. In her teenage years, Nicki Minaj focused on acting, but it was singing that got her there. Indeed, as a child, she would sing and take center stage every chance she got. Nicki sang in her church choir, but it was rap that Minaj loved. She wrote her first rap at the age of 12, but her career took a detour first. Failed Broadway star. As mentioned, Nicki Minaj had dreams of being a world-famous actress as a teenager. She put all her time and effort to achieve that goal. Nicki didn't end up becoming an actress, but did find minor success. She made her way onto Broadway, but never became a star. Indeed, she mostly played off-Broadway. Discovered on MySpace. There was a time when rap artists were discovered at rap battles or on street corners, spitting some rhymes. Now, things are drastically different. Indeed, Nicki Minaj is part of a generation that found success in ways rappers like Grandmaster Flash could only dream of having. Dirty Money Records CEO Fendi stumbled across Minaj's MySpace page and liked what he saw. He then introduced her to Lil Wayne. The Hood Stars performed WWE diva Victoria's theme song. Nicki Minaj has worked hard to make a name for herself. She had a very rough childhood and started her career as a teenager. Early in her career, she was part of an all-girl rap group, the Hood Stars. Minaj rarely talks about this point in her career. The Hood Stars' highlight came when they recorded the theme song for WWE diva Victoria. Her parents are gospel singers. Nicki Minaj is a world-famous rapper that is one of the best-selling artists of all time. Indeed, she's known for her unique fashion sense, risque music videos, and fast flow. However, she tries to keep it on the down low that her parents were once gospel singers. Indeed, she even performed in her church's choir. Became pregnant at a very young age. As a teenager, Nicki Minaj was in a serious relationship with Safari Samuels. Rumors suggest Minaj might have become pregnant during that time. As noted, some speculate she had the child but gave it up for adoption. However, her music has implied that she might have chosen not to have the child at all. That would have been tough for anyone to go through, let alone a teenager. Fired from Red Lobster and 15 other jobs. Nicki Minaj is known for her outspoken and blunt personality. Indeed, she's got into a few fights with other celebs. However, her personality has been getting her in trouble for years. Minaj once worked as a waitress at Red Lobster. It didn't last long, as they fired her for being rude to the customers. She claims that 15 other jobs fired her for the same reason. Father almost burnt down Nicki's childhood home. Nicki Minaj has attempted to keep her father's problems and her family life out of the spotlight. Indeed, her father played a big part in her most traumatic memories. Her parents often had arguments that got physical. However, her father went too far one time. He set the house on fire in an attempt to hurt his wife. Her father's problems and attempting to burn the house down haunts Minaj to this day. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about the most interesting secrets about Nicki Minaj. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this.